Hey guys, welcome back. It's your boy Sir Drinks Line. You tuned into a Lap It Up, a drink review series. And today, we're going to do the OG original. Well, okay, I thought it was the original, but it's actually the smoothie of the original Kuii. Just the straight coconut milk, plant-based, dairy-free, the coconut yogurt smoothie for the Kuiis. So, yeah. Shake well. Don't mind if I do. 140 calories, 5 grams of saturated fat. This is so small. I've showed you this, right? It's like I'm nearsighted, but like Jesus. 280 milligrams sodium, 20 grams total carbs for 17 are from sugars. First, for best taste, serve chilled and consume within 24 hours of opening. Shake well. Separation is normal. Separation anxiety. After drinking this, and then there's no more. As I think is what they're saying. It's not. So, goodness, had to gas up yesterday, but I also had to go get my mom and take her home. We had some issues on the property. One of our trees fell and hit a guy's barn, neighbor's barn. But there was my mom, when she approaches things, sometimes it's serious for her, but in the actual long term of it, it's actually not that bad. It's like a car wreck. When it happens, you're like freaking out, My mom's not freaking out, but I'm not saying that she is. I mean, she might be for all I know, but she's got a lot of worry on her. She's like, oh, this happened, there's all her stuff, and I'm like, okay, kind of like with a car accident. You're like, oh shit, like I hit this or they hit me, and there's a lot of emotions in it. And I'm in a car wreck where I thought I'd hurt somebody that I really cared about, who's in the car with me, and it was I think the wreck actually caused me so much guilt that, I mean, she was fine, but the wreck, that happening to me, and that me, like, it being my fault, once I found out that she was okay, I kind of distanced myself a bit more, I think, and that was probably immature of me, I think. I keep thinking, I have thought about that before, and I should have been more forthcoming and spent more time with him and everything. And that's one of those little regret things. But you get so wound up by it that you don't realize that, like, the vehicle is a thing. People matter. People are the important thing. The vehicle is, the vehicle can be taken care of. Whether it's still usable, it can be fixed, repaired, or it needs to be trashed, recycled, whatever. But the people matter. Get your belongings from the vehicle. If the vehicle's toast, let it go. And it has to go back in the annals of history, back in the memory warehouse, and be like, I had that car for a little while. But you solve the situation. You get another vehicle. You get with your insurance company. You do the things that need to be done to get things back to normal. And the idea was to get contractor out, take a look at the barn. It's a neighbor, his insurance covers acts of God. It's a tree. There's a storm that came through. It wasn't like a dead tree. It was like right on the property line. I mean, like right on them, And there was a concept of fault, and in this situation, it's an act. Like I said, it's an act of nature, an act of God, and you have insurance for that reason, not to go against somebody else. But then again, this is also like big property, not. I say big property. I don't want to be belittling somebody else's, but like it's not a suburban setting. It's not like there was an old tree leaning over and it fell, and you could have done something about it, and you didn't. People have complained about it. This is like acreage. It just so happens that there was a smaller barn, and that's the insurance will take care of it. And he has insurance, and it'll take care of it. But my brother does some contracting stuff, and he got him a really good deal because like somebody had quoted him like, I think it's like almost $3,000 to repair damage, and I think we found something for around $700 to $800, or maybe even less than that. I think actually I can't remember, maybe a couple hundred plus labor. It was like in parts like a couple hundred. But yeah, and so that, and then boom, done. Just we'll get somebody out, talk to some guy about cutting up the tree, seeing what they want to do with that, go from there, and that's awesome. Goodness. But yeah, and it's just like today, just having those kind of emotions, on something that's sometimes you see something and it affects you, and it's such a big deal. It's not. Almost, I mean, like it's not to say like things like a wedding aren't a big deal, because they are a big deal at the time, and later on they're emotional things to go back to. But it's like if you just handle it, if you don't build it up into this big stress ball, you can really take care of these things compartmentally. Get the steps in that to complete the job. And it's difficult to do because there's that up here. I've had the, especially when it came to like actually doing my job. I know it sounds weird. Johnson do his job. No, it's not that. It's like when you're supposed to do the job, but the job has a possibility of being one of those jobs that you've done several times before that take forever. Well, you know what? You're not going to know it's going to take forever until you start on it. And I have to remember that a lot because that's one of my issues. I had a Volkswagen that I was messing with, and Volkswagens of a certain year model, they have kind of a I can program in remotes and cut keys for them, but the cutting keys, not a problem. Coconut, but kind of lackluster coconut. But anyway, I can cut the key for it, but program is kind of a 50-50. If my programmer can communicate with the vehicle and pull a code from the vehicle, I can then use that to program keys in. If it can't, dealer. And you don't know until you've plugged in. And I've come to the point where I've had several where it's like, no, I can't. To the point where when I get one that comes in, I'm just like, and it's certain year models, certain types, not all. And some require what's called a bench method, where you have to solder leads onto the board of the remote and then run through the computer. And we don't do that because your hardware modifying, you're modifying something physically and then digitally and then putting it in versus having a factory set, dealer diagnostic, which, I mean, it works. It does fine. It's not that it'll mess anything up. The only thing that'll probably mess up, is the remote. But it takes time. And you really don't want to spend a lot of time on something if you've got a pretty good feeling that, hey, this is not going to work. And that's always a problem. It's okay. And it's bland. But it's still coconut, Don't mind it. I just feel like this should be mixed with something. I'm going to give it a 3 and a 6. It's above, but not too much. I can see this and then blend in a fruit of any kind and put it in. Blueberry, banana would be good in this. Banana would be good. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, but the thing is that once you start on it, you're putting effort into it, and you don't want to put effort into something you think it's not going to work. And same thing with relationships, and I say that, and I'm just nothing, same thing with anything you decide you want to do. Like starting a new series that you want to watch on, on Netflix, whatever, and you watch the first couple episodes and you're like, yeah, you know what, I'm done. And then you don't watch the series and come to find out the series is actually pretty good. First couple episodes were a little rough. It's all up to you and how much you want to put up with and if it's important or not, My only real advice would just be to realize that maybe some things might start off not so good, but turn out great in the end. Sometimes you start having a few things and you decide you don't want to. Guess what? That's okay too. But honestly, if you got the time, give it a shot. What's it gonna hurt? Are you that busy? Is it that big of an inconvenience? And if it is, yeah, don't do it. But you might miss out on an opportunity, Yeah. Even if it's just a conversation piece. Anyway, love you guys. As always, I'm Sir Drinks a Lot, and I'm wishing you health, wealth, and love with enough time and gusto to enjoy it all down to the last drop. I'm going to pick up some drinks for the last day. We've got a new guy coming in, so I'm going to have to do my job and train. Oh well. You got to put that next foot forward, keep walking. So it'd be good to actually train a new guy and get somebody who's a little competent working in the front or doing whatever he's going to end up doing. It's going to be fun. All right. Anyway, catch you guys later.